right, let's take a look at key signatures. Key signatures and accidentals are a huge thing to learn. And for beginners, it's kind of tricky, but don't feel bad because for adults, it's kind of tricky. So this is one of those things that you got to learn and you got to remember as you're learning to play music. The good news is when you do learn these, then you're ready to play music the rest of your life. Let me just point out a couple things. At the beginning of every song, there is information that gives us everything we need to know to be able to play that song. We've already learned what a time signature is, and so far we've seen 4/4 and 3/4 and 2/4, and then next year you're going to find out that there's a batch of other time signatures as well. But guess what? We also have our clef sign that tells us, in this case, these are high notes. In this case over here, these are going to be low notes. Let me scoot that up just a little bit. These are going to be low notes over here because this is a bass clef sign. Here's a treble clef sign. There are other clefs than that, but in band, that's the two that we use. And so let's take a look at those today. So I know that these are going to be high notes. I know that these are going to be low notes. I know that we're in 4/4, which means 4 beats to a measure. A quarter note gets 1 beat. 4 beats to a measure. Quarter note gets 1 beat. And then now this gives me the scale that the song is going to be based on, and this is what we call our key signature. It tells us what scale we're going to use. So let's take a look at these. These are actually not difficult to understand. The hard part of them is remembering them when you're playing. That's the hardest part of them. All right, so let's take a quick look up here. Currently, I'm looking at the same thing that would be for the bells or the flutes, and that would be with the treble clef sign. This side would be for the trombones, baritones, tubas, and this is what they would see. They notice that they have the same thing, they're just in different clefs. So I wanted to point that out. Let's take a look at some examples for each of the instruments. Before we do worry about it too much, let's do look at the beginning of every line and every song. You're going to have this information. And this is the way you're not going to need to have somebody holding your hand and telling you how to play a song because all the information you need is there. We have our time signature like we've already talked about. In this case, it's a 4/4. It could also be a C for common time. It could be a 3/4 or 2/4. We've already talked about all those. Next year we'll learn more and you'll find out that these time signatures can be all kinds of different things. But for right now, that's what we're used to. We know that we're in the treble clef. That means these are high notes. We know these are in the bass clef. We know these are low notes. And so let's take a look. And in between that, we have this information. This tells us about what the rhythms are like. And this is going to tell us what the scale the song is based on. And every song is based on a scale, and that scale is based on a key signature. So that key signature is going to be flats or sharps that we put at the beginning of the song, but they last for the whole line, or for the whole song. Now, the reason that we say that is, if you take a look and think about that right there, there's 3 flats right there. There's 3 flats. If every time you saw a B, E, and A, if they had to write a flat in, it would just get really complicated really quickly. You'll see lots of flats. Most of the things that we've done are because we used to have to handwrite everything, and when you have to handwrite every one of those flats, it just takes extra time. Same thing with the time signature and with the clef signs. Anything we could do to make it quicker to handwrite makes it easier. Well, today's world we could use computers, but this is still a great idea. Instead of taking all those flats and distributing them through the song, instead, let's take all those and let's squish them over to the left side, and we'll put them over here and just say, hey, this means for the whole song. This means for the whole song. So here's 3 flats for the whole song. Here's 3 flats for the whole song in a bass clef. Here's 2 flats for the whole song, 2 flats for the whole song, and then down at the bottom we're going to see 1 flat in just a minute. All right, so we squished them all over. This is going to tell us what's flat or sharp for the whole song. So we know that that's what they are, so how do we read that? No problem. Just like we take this note here, and we go, hey, what note is that? Oh, it's on the 3rd line, every good boy. That note is a B. Well, guess what? That flat sign that kind of looks like a letter B, that is on the B line as well. You look in there, and if you see that line, then that's every good boy. That means all B's are flat, right? Same thing there. This note right here, that's F-A-C-E. We know that's an E. Well, guess what? That flat is on that same space, and that would be E. So this would just say all B's and E's are flat for the whole song. And same thing over here. In bass clef, good boys, B's, all cows eat, and that is an E. All B's and E's are flat for the whole song. Well, what about A's? Well, I don't see an A flat in the key signature, therefore all A's must be natural or normal. So this just tells us what is flat or sharp and what is not. And so this tells us how to play the song to make it sound correctly the way that the composer or arranger intended it to sound. Okay, let's take a look at the next one here. I see 3 flats. We see that same B and E Same B and E, but now there's that one extra flat. Which line or space is it on? Look in the middle. Well, that's all cows eat grass. That's an A. This one is F-A. So guess what? That's an A flat. So B's, E's, and A's are flat for the whole song. Does that mean there are any regular A's in there? Not in this case. There's no A naturals in this case, right? So we have B's are flat, E's are flat, A's are flat. B's are flat, E's are flat, A's are flat. Okay, so there's our key signatures. We're learning 3 this year. All right, so let's take a look down toward the bottom. And down toward the bottom, we see our 3rd key signature for the year. And I see a B flat still. I see a B flat still, but I don't see an A flat anymore. I don't see an E flat anymore. That means, and the same thing over here, no A flat, no E flat. So guess what? B's are flat still, but E's are natural and A's are natural. They're normal. They are not flatted anymore. And guess what? Do that for the entire song. So that's what key signatures do. So far, for the flutes and for the bells and for the trombones and baritones and tubas, guess what? Those are your 3. You either have A's are natural at the top, B's and E's are flat, A's are flat, or then E's and A's are going to be natural as well. Okay, so there's your 3 key signatures. Let's take a look at a couple of other ones here. As you can see here, this is for the trumpets and the clarinets, and they're going to have these 3 key signatures. First of all, I see nothing here. So sometimes students will think, oh, there is no key signature. Oh, sure, there's a key signature. It's just, guess what? No flats, no sharps. So B's are natural, F's are natural, C's are natural, everything's natural, everything's just normal. So that is a key signature, even though there's nothing in between there at the moment. Here we go down here, and we take a look. Oh, that's funny. It should actually have a 4-4 right there as we take a look at that one. But take a look here. Between the clef sign and the time signature, we see 1 flat. What is it? Every good boy. So that's a B flat. All B's are flat. Everything else is normal, right? And then if we look down at the bottom, we see a 3rd key signature down here. No more flats in the key signature. We see a sharp sign. So what is that sharp on? Look in the middle. And I see a line note, so we go, every good boy does fine. And so this key signature would tell me that all F's are sharp. All F's are sharp. B's are natural. I don't see a B flat. Everything else is normal, but F's are sharp. So for clarinets and trumpets, you either have your B's are natural, your B's are flat, or your F's are sharp. Let's take a look at one more. Now we're looking at the alto saxophone April homework page to see what we're looking at here. And I see, again, between the time signature and the clef sign and the time signature, I see a single F sharp. Every good boy does fine. All F's are sharp. That tells me that for the entire song, all F's are sharp. And then we come down here, and here we go again with the, whoops, they didn't put a key signature in. Yes, they did, but there is no sharps or no flats in this key signature. So in this case, all F's are going to be natural, not sharp. They're going to be regular F's or F naturals on that. And then down at the bottom, we see 2 sharps. So the first one, again, look in the middle of it, the little tic-tac-toe sign, that's a sharp sign. And we look in the middle of it, every good boy does fine. That means all F's are sharp. And now there's a space. There's no line in the middle of that one. F-A-C. All C's are sharp. F's are sharp and C's are sharp. So key signature is not that tricky. We're just trying to figure out what is flat or sharp for the whole song. Okay? So look between the clef sign and the time signature, and there is going to be your key signature. Now, the variation is something we call accidentals. As we go back to the bell and flute part, you're going to notice again here we have our clef sign, and here we have our time signature, and we look at our key signature. All B's, E's, and A's are flat for the whole song, and then unless we see something called an accidental. So what's an accidental? Well, we look in measure 1 and we see an accidental right away. There is a natural sign. A natural sign we always talk about looks like a capital L. Let's see if I can do this small enough here. I better just write it in. It looks like a capital L with an upside down capital L where the top and bottom stick out. That's a natural sign. And a natural just means normal. So no sharp, no flat, that's what a natural is. So as I look here at number 1, the 3rd note says A, it's an A, but guess what? There's a natural sign in front of it. This says that all A's are flat, but this says, nope, we're going to make this one natural. Now you need to know not every song has an accidental in it. In fact, many songs don't have accidentals in them. However, you just need to understand what the rules are. So, key signatures last for the whole song. Even if that song was 30 pages long, that key signature could go for 30 pages long. That's how strong they are. Accidentals are not that way. They're just there for usually a brief moment. And so guess what? As soon as you see that accidental is going to last until the next bar line. And then at that bar line, that A natural dies right there. Boom. And it just dies. And so we go, oh, A natural. Well, guess what? This is also A natural because that A natural, that accidental is still going until it dies right there. Okay, in the next measure, they want to use an A natural again. So guess what? They got to write it in again. The key signature still goes all the way to the song, but the accidental can change it for one measure. So I can go dun dun, and then here we go. A natural, that's still A natural. Whoops, it's dead. Dun 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 dun. Whoops, I want A natural again. Natural, natural. Because that accidental is going to keep going until we keep going on from there. Here we go again. Bum bum, and here we have an A flat because I see the A. And there's no accidental in front of it. So that means A flat, oh, and then they put in that A natural again. Okay? So a key signature lasts for the whole song, an accidental lasts just for one measure. If you looked at our March homework page, our February homework page where we were learning this rule, rule number 5 is the big one, which is if you look at a note and it doesn't have an accidental, you have to go with the key signature. So let's take a look at that. There's a note. No accidental. Key signature says all E's are flat. That's an E flat. Note, no accidental in front of it. So that's a B. That means it's a B flat. Here's an A. No accidental in front of it. No. So we got to go with that. A flat there. That means that's going to be A flat as well. A flat. But now we see the accidental. Remember, everything goes left to right. So the accidental only goes that way to the right. It does not go backwards. So that natural sign only affects that last note. And then guess what? There is an accidental. Go with the accidental. Okay? So if you don't see an accidental, go with the key signature. When you see an accidental, just play it. Accidentals are easy. They write them in, you play them. They write them in, you play them. They write them in, you play them. They don't write them in, like on measure 5, you don't play it. If you don't see an accidental, you got to go with the key signature. All A's are flat. That's an A flat. Whoops, they wrote in an accidental. Guess what? I'm going to play A natural on that song. So the rules are not difficult. It's hard to remember when you're playing. It's hard to remember the key signature, and it's hard to then go back and forth between an accidental and a key signature note. Let's take a look on the baritone, trombone, and tuba. If you look here, we see the same thing again. E flat, B flat. Oops, they wrote in an accidental, so that's an A natural. That means that's got to be an A natural until we hit the bar line, and then at the bar line, that accidental's dead. So, oops, no accidental, no accidental, no accidental, no accidental. That means E flat, B flat, B flat. Whoops, they write it in. If they write it in, play it. A natural, B flat. Here, no accidentals, no accidentals. So that means E flat, B flat, A flat, A flat. Whoops, they wrote it in. A natural. What's rule number 5? If you look at a note and it doesn't have an accidental, got to go with the key signature. So here, measure 5, no accidental. Got to go with the key signature. All A's are flat. That makes that an A flat. Right? And then guess what? They wrote it in there. So that is an A natural. All right? Let's take a look at the trumpets and clarinets part. And I see here on the same song, the key signature is telling me that all B's are flat. But when we look down here, they decided they wanted a B natural, so they threw in the natural sign. F, C, B, B, C, not B flat. But wait, the key signature says B flat. That's right, but they threw the accidental in. The accidental is going to last all the way to the bar line, then it dies. They want it again, they got to put it in again. F, F, C, C, B, B, C, B natural, C. Then the natural sign or accidental dies right there. Then F, C. Now, no accidental. You got to go with the key signature. Key signature says all B's are flat. And here we go, B flat, B flat. Whoops, they threw it in. B natural, C. Okay. If a note doesn't have an accidental, got to go with the key signature that says all B's are flat. B flat, D, D, F, F, D. Oop, accidental. B natural, D, F, D. Get the idea? So it's not difficult to understand the concepts. The hard part is just remembering it. Let's look at the saxophone part here, same thing. This key signature says no flats, no sharps. F's are natural. F's are natural. Bum, bum. Oops. Well, they wrote in F sharp. F sharp, F sharp. Then that F sharp died right there. C, C, G, G. Whoop, they wrote it in again. F sharp, and then it died right there. C, G, whoops, no accidental. Go with the key signature. All F's are natural. F, F, F sharp, G. Whoops, measure 5. No accidental. Got to go with the key signature. All F's are natural. So F natural, F, A, C, C, A. They throw in the sharp sign. F sharp, A, C, A. Get the idea? So key signatures and accidentals are not that difficult. You just got to remember. Let's take a quick look over on the back side just so you get an idea. Again, every song has one of these. So I take a look here and go, whoops, what's the key signature? Well, I see F's are sharp, right? Here on 114, what's the key signature? No flats or sharps. It doesn't have a key signature. Yes, it does. No flats, no sharps. All F's are natural in that key signature. Let's come back to the back side of the trumpet clarinet one. Let's take a look here. Oh, I see one flat in that key signature. All B's are flat, right? I come down here and go, whoops, oh, no key signature. Yes, there is a key signature. All F's are natural. All B's are natural. Everything's natural. No flats or sharp in that. Let's look at the back of the trombone, the baritone here, and we see a couple of examples here. Take a look at this one, and we go, hey, wait, there is B's, E's, A's. All A's are flat. All A's are flat on that key signature. And then we come down here, just B's and E's. A's are natural in this key signature or this song, unless you see a key signature. By the way, on those songs that I'm showing you right now, there's no accidentals on those. You just got to remember that for the whole song. Okay? So we're learning the rules are going to take care of us. This is for bells and flutes, and we take a look and go, hey, there is B's, E's, and A's. No accidentals, so guess what? There's an A, that means it's an A flat. Got to go with the key signature. And then we come down here, and I see a B flat and E flat, no A flat, so all A's are natural. All A's are natural. Okay? So that's the basic rules of how a key signature and an accidentals work. So again, just look between there, and whatever that says, that's for the whole song. And then if you see an accidental, that only takes it only takes over for that one measure. And then at the bar line, that dies. If they want another one, they've got to put it in the next measure. All right? Feel free to ask your teacher more questions about this. Hopefully that helps you.